If you buy Cristante and Pastore, you have to be sure they're going to be as good as Strootman and Nainggolan.
Hello everybody, welcome to another FF TV video. I'm Dov, he's Vieri Capretta, which you probably know by now, still in the same clothes. Today we're going to talk about Roma because they're the next team on the list, and they've been in a bit of a crisis of late. Are they really out of the crisis? Obviously they've won I think their last 3 games
in Serie A,
and then obviously they won in the Champions League, smashed Victoria Pilsen, beat Empoli, won against Lazio in the derby.
Well, the only difficult game they had a pretty easy run of games. Obviously they beat Frosinone 4-0 at home, they beat Empoli 2-0 away. The only difficult game was the derby against Lazio, which they won 3-1.
That test.
Nicely, I think. Yeah, they suffered in the first half, it was quite balanced, and then got the goals in the second half and won it. That was a very important test. That was the main thing, and also that's where the key tactical change took place.
Well, go back then. So
before we get
so what was happening before then? Because obviously Di Francesco's got his Zemanlandia way of playing, of attacking 4-3-3 and all that kind of stuff. And at the start of the season, it didn't work. I have my theory that the turnover of players meant that they had to get used to the system.
Yeah, I think it's that, and also the quality of the players, because if you buy Cristante and Pastore, you have to be sure they're going to be as good as Strootman and Nainggolan, and you can't really be sure because they're different players.
Yeah, so obviously that was a problem. But now it looks like it's changed it a little bit. It's kind of almost like a 4-2-3-1, it seems.
It's pretty much a 4-2-3-1. He got Nzonzi and De Rossi playing regularly as the 2 holding midfielders. And then the trequartista should have been Pastore. That was the main change. But then Pastore got injured in the derby. Pellegrini had an amazing game when he came on instead of him. So we found out that Pellegrini is a great trequartista, playing in behind Dzeko. And that's the position that suits him best, and that is working best for Roma.
That seems to be the problem, though, that kind of midfield, so you want to say that midfield 3 if you even go back to the 4-3-3, because in terms of, obviously, Dzeko scores goals, loves it. And then wingers, they've got all the wingers.
The wingers, it doesn't really matter who plays, I think, massively. Like I like Under very much, but Sharawi isn't a bad player.
They've got options. They've got options there, but that midfield is kind of where it's the problem.
Because that's where you've changed 2 out of 3 midfielders. It's not that easy. If you lose Strootman and Nainggolan, even if someone's accustomed to Di Francesco's tactics already, it takes time to be at that level for that consistent. Because Strootman and Nainggolan, you're talking about 2 players who were very consistent as well. And that's what Roma kind of lacked from Pastore, who scored 2 backheel goals and then disappeared for the rest of the games. So it wasn't easy. But I think Pellegrini in that position is proving to be a very interesting player there as a trequartista. And as you said, the wings are always there. And De Rossi is someone you can always count on.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. And I think obviously that, and goalkeeper is obviously another position where they've changed. And it's gone down, and I'm not a fan of Robin Olsen. I think he's really...
Look at the number. You've sold Alisson for 70 million. You bought a player for 10 million. Will he be at the same level?
Well, we obviously
probably
don't
not
expect him, but I think as well that kind of feeds into kind of the confidence of the team. Whereas before they were like, it's Alisson, it doesn't matter. Whereas Olsen looks a lot more like there's mistakes there. That can then lead into problems with the defence, thinking we'll have to deal with this. We can't let him deal with it, and then you've got other problems.
No, absolutely. So I think now
it's a thing that's
a number of reasons there.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of feeds into the general point that they've swapped a lot of players. Overall, they've brought the level down.
That's what I think personally.
I agree with you. I think but that's Roma's model. That's what they do now. They'll get players, and that's why Monchi's there. That's what Monchi does. He did that at Sevilla. All the time he was there, he would get players that were under the radar, going cheap, make them amazing, and then sell them for 10 times the value. That's been Roma's model since Pallotta came in, and now they've got that perfect sporting director to make that model work. And that's what they've seen. They've bought in guys like, for example, Justin Kluivert's not going to be a Roma legend. He'll be off to Barcelona the first chance he gets. He even said he wants to play for Barcelona.
Yeah.
And Under, apparently, like his team's already looking at Under at Bayern Munich, or apparently, they're like, these players, they're not going to be a Totti or a De Rossi or a Florenzi. They're going to be in for a few seasons, make their name, and then off. And that's problematic. Because then that's why you just replace it.
It's interesting to see them let go of players like Strootman and Nainggolan. I know I always end up talking about them, but they were players who've been at Roma for a while, and both of them loved the club, the city. Nainggolan was always talking about how much he loved Roma.
Yeah, he even said this week, he said that like sometimes it's not up to a player.
Yeah. Oh no, he definitely wouldn't have minded staying.
Yeah, but I had problems with Francesco, so basically the club made a choice, and Inter came in with 40 million, and as Monchi said, if the price is right, the player can leave.
Absolutely.
That's how the Strootman deal came along as well.
So are they out of the crisis, Roma? I think it's too early to say that. At least they didn't make any mistakes or slip-ups against smaller teams.
And as well, if you look at their fixtures between, say, the end of October, beginning of December, they're away to Napoli, Fiorentina, Moscow in the Champions League. Then they've got Sampdoria, and I think they play Inter just at the beginning of December. So you've got kind of like, say, 5 weeks
in which
they're going to be
really tested
a lot in terms of the teams they play, where they're going. Because obviously Moscow, as much as CSKA Moscow might not be the greatest team, going to Moscow is always hard. Playing Fiorentina before that, it's a hard game. Playing Inter as well, it's a hard game for them. So then we'll see end of November time, so say about a month or two, how good this Roma is, and if they can be the second, third place team in Serie A.
We'll see. Early days.
It's early days, but I get almost similar to Napoli. There's something missing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like last season they played like they had a memorable season, particularly because of the Champions League. But sometimes in the league they weren't there. And this season it looks similar-ish. So there you go. Have you got anything to add on Roma Vieri?
Looks similar-ish without Strootman and Nainggolan though, so I don't see that doing as well.
So by the way, if you didn't notice, Nainggolan and Strootman are no longer at Roma.
Yeah.
Just in case you missed that.
And Nainggolan is a fantastic midfielder.
He loves Nainggolan. Do you know how much he loves Nainggolan, people? He's going to buy a Nainggolan Intertop. What's going on?
I will try to, yeah.
And
I'll be very happy.
He'll be happy, right. So there you go. What do you think about Roma? Are they going to get into the Champions League spots again? Will they get to the final of the Champions League? Yeah, there you go. We didn't talk about that.
They could do better than last year,
yeah. There you go. Get to the final. Improve on last year. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Get on social media. And of course, visit the website. All the links are in the description. So until next time, there's nothing left for me to say apart from arrivederci.
Ciao, ciao.